Hi, Julie Rader. Fellow Pisces, this is your 2022 astrological overview. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. It helps me grow the channel and continue creating content. Also, like this video and share it with anyone, any fellow Pisces you feel could benefit from this information. So, okay, let's start off in January with the first Mercury retrograde we have of the year in Aquarius. So this is happening for us Pisces in our 12th house. So the 12th house is the house that is very Piscean. It's dreamy. It is all about retreat. And as you know, as a Pisces, it is important that we spend some time alone every single day, because Pisces are the psychic sponges. Pisces are the psychic of the zodiac, and we take on energy whether we want to or not. So with this Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, in our 12th house, we will become even more intuitive, if that's possible. So I highly recommend in January, allow yourself to, like many of the winter animals do, kind of hibernate a bit. Go inward, reflect upon what you want. What are your dreams? Definitely keep a dream journal. Mercury is a planet of communication. When it goes retrograde, this planet is going inward. And so as it's going inward, it enhances our inner communication, meaning our intuition. So when this is happening in the 12th house, it's even that much more heightened. So keep a dream journal. Pisces, we're known for our dreams. Keep a dream journal. There are even pens you can get on Amazon, or I wish I knew of another source to give you, but that they're light up pens so that you don't even have to turn on a light. And I know when you wake up in the middle of the night, last thing you want to do is write your dream down. You just click on the light on this pen, write it down, because you will find that so much information is coming to you. And if you don't write it down when it happens, if you wake up in the middle of the night, then often we lose it and you'll forget it in the morning. So definitely do that in January. Then in April, the biggest aspect of the year, especially for us Pisces, but actually for all signs, is a very rare astrological aspect. Jupiter, the great benefic, and Neptune, the god of the underworld, subconscious, the god of the subconscious and unconscious, actually both, which are the rulers of Neptune, will be conjunct, merging, marrying in Pisces, in our first house. Jupiter will be in our sign. Jupiter, so we can look back at where maybe from May to about July, anything that happened during that time in 2021, look back at those themes. You can look back through your calendar, you can look back through pictures, maybe emails even, because that gave us a little bit of a preview of what this first half of 2022 will bring to us, because Mercury, we have two rulers as Pisces. They're Mercury and Neptune. Not Mercury and Neptune, Jupiter and Neptune, and Jupiter being the great benefic was in Pisces for a short period of time. Then it retrograded back into Aquarius, and then it's spending the first half of the year in Pisces again, and then again at the very end of the year. But either way, look back and notice opportunities that came to you. So because when Jupiter, our ruling planet, the great benefic, is in our house, and then when it is conjunct Neptune, the god of the underworld, we as Pisces know how to work with Neptune better than any other sign, because it's our ruler, and because as Pisces, we tend to swim between the unconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious effortlessly. So when they come together, if we can get out of our own way, if we can have a spiritual practice in place, meditation, vision boarding, tapping into the unconscious in the highest octave, not by numbing out, not by using any substances to get us there, but to get there by the power of our own intuition, by the power of having enough discipline to have a daily practice to meditate. So when this conjunction happens, we feel this inner firework. We feel that, wow, we have been training for this our whole life. So really tap into your subconscious on a regular basis. I talked about at the beginning of the year doing that dream journal. Continue reading books like Think and Grow Rich. Like a great one is Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. It's one that's been around for so long, but using these kind of positive affirmations or inner child work to heal old wounds and tap into the power of who we are, the power of knowing that what we think is what we become. And we must not only visualize it or say it, we must actually feel it and get into the feeling state of what we want to be true in our life and feeling as if it's already happened. And if we can do this, this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction will be extremely powerful. If we do not, if we choose to check out rather than check in, it can be a bit shocking and even debilitating. I co-wrote a book a few years ago with a dear friend, Regina, called What You See is What You Get. It's a 33-page book about tapping into your unconscious mind. It's a child's book. It's basically meditation through storytelling. Pick that up too if you'd like. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it. There's a link for my website, julierader.com. Do work that taps you into the subconscious mind. I have a lot of meditations on my website, Moon Meditations, again, julierader.com. Check those out. Get to know your subconscious mind. It will be to your greatest benefit this year. We also in April have a solar eclipse happening in Taurus in your third house. So third house is the house of communication. It's teaching, writing, speaking, learning. So any projects that you're wanting to get out into the world, this would be the time to do it in April with this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, especially if it has any kind of spiritual or dreamy or Piscean quality to it. So with Taurus, you can really begin to form roots to whatever it is that you are wanting to put out into the world. It can really form roots at this time. April's a huge month, probably the biggest month of the year for us Pisces. Then in May, we have Mercury retrograde in Gemini. So this is the second Mercury retrograde in air sign. This is happening in our fourth house. We may really start looking at our home. Are we living where we want to live? What is our relationship with our family members? And this is going to be a big theme for this Mercury retrograde. Perhaps not acting upon it yet, but reflecting. Also in May, we have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio activating our ninth house, house of spirituality. There is so much spiritual energy for us to tap into this year. Also, with all this ninth and third house activation the entire year, we may decide it's time to study meditation, study some kind of spirituality. Maybe we decide to study astrology, something of learning a skill and taking the learning to a higher level, but also bringing it in third house in a practical way that we can utilize in our everyday life. Then we have Jupiter moving into Aries. So we'll be moving out of our first house into our second house also in May. So when this happens, if we've been doing the work, all of the work with our subconscious, when Jupiter moves into Aries, it fires up our house of finances. We could really see the benefits for the rest of the year while Jupiter then is in our house of money, possessions, worth. We need to do the work to enhance our self-worth. That is such a big thing for us. Again, that book, Louise Hay, doing the positive affirmations, really would be quite beneficial for you Pisces this year. In July, we have the second big astrological event. Uranus, the great disruptor, breakthrough, conjunct, merging, marrying the North Node, our true destiny. This is happening in Taurus, again, activating our third house. Third house, again, communication, writing, speaking. We may find that there's something we've been working on, a project, either learning or that we have created. And we have this huge breakthrough at this time. It could very well be that. Or there could be something where we just realize, okay, maybe I want to shift up the way that I communicate, the way that I step out, the way that I learn, the way that I teach completely. Then in September, we have the next Mercury retrograde is in Libra in our 8th house. It's a psychological house. So perhaps in all this work that we've been doing on the subconscious mind has us really in September reflecting upon, okay, what else is there? Deep psychological beliefs, patterns, paradigms. What do I need to change so that I can really be the highest version of who I am? It's also the house of other people's money. So it could be investments, things like that. We may be reflecting upon that. I don't suggest starting to invest in something new, but perhaps taking inventory at that point of other investments that you've made. In October, we have Mars going retrograde in Gemini in our 4th house. At the same time, we have Mercury moving into Scorpio in our 9th house, creating what we call mutual reception, meaning that Mars and Mercury are in each other's signs, activating each other's energy in the houses that they are in. So 4th house and 9th house activation. 4th house, again, is our home. Maybe when the Mercury retrograde in May, we were really thinking about, maybe it's time for a big shift in our home. Maybe in October, when Mars goes retrograde there, we're ready to make some of those changes. When Mercury goes into Scorpio on the 9th, as well as a solar eclipse in Scorpio, a big new moon energy in Scorpio, also the 9th house, we again are looking at our spiritual beliefs. This also, 9th house is also a house of relocation. Pisces, it is probable even or likely that you could feel like relocating or at least traveling somewhere where far enough where you have to get on a plane to get there. Then in November, we have a lunar eclipse in Taurus in our 3rd house. Again, more 3rd house activation. Maybe there's a project you've been working on, and by November, it is completed and ready to put out into the world. Then in December, the final Mercury retrograde will be in Capricorn in the 11th house, having us reflect upon the groups of people we spend time with, the tribes of people we spend time with, looking again at our goals, our aspirations, maybe with so much of this Jupiterian energy this year, maybe a lot of our goals have already manifested. And this last Mercury retrograde on December 29th, moving into 2023 in January, maybe we're reflecting upon, okay, what new goals do I have? What new aspirations? So those are the big energies of the year. Huge year for you, Pisces, with this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction. Meditate, get your spiritual practice in place so that you have it to ground you. So that again, your mantra is check in rather than check out. And when you're about to check out, catch yourself and say, what can I do? Is it a simple breathing technique? I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Keep that dream journal. Tap into the subconscious mind in a way where you are consciously doing it. All right, enjoy the year. And thanks for taking the time to listen.